Hello and welcome to another Entatio demonstration. In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how when a user logs into your Entatio environment and they engage your content, how that is used to trigger events and workflows in Salesforce so that you can tie that content marketing to sales operations, meaning you can create new leads, create new opportunities, notify someone that it's time to follow up with one of the people who's been using your content. And then we can also use it to generate a lot of very interesting data. And that's one of the things that we do as well. Let's show you how this works. So I created a new Entatio here, demo sandbox. I have my Salesforce org with my media manager slash Entatio app already loaded. And I have the integration between the two built. This just takes a couple minutes. That's my demo sandbox.entatio to demo sandbox.entatio. So first thing I want to show you is how we create users. So anytime you have a new user, they're going to automatically be created in this Entatio or in this Entatio app for Salesforce as not really a lead, but I mean you can take it as a lead, but as a new user that is possibly going to be engaging your content. And we can auto generate leads from this and auto generate accounts and contacts as well. It's not part of the app itself, but that's one of the things we do. So if I go in here, I'm going to create it. I'm going to register a new user. And this is a form that you can put into your website, or you can just have them go to your Entatio. And I'm going to create a new user. We'll call this number 2 at Entatio. And first name Jason. And this is my actual number. If you want to give me a call when you have any questions, there you go. 412-503-3657, direct line. And we're going to register this, and you're going to see a new user is going to be created, which will be JJ McCoy plus 2. And you could also use the Google OAuth. We have a LinkedIn one that you can turn on, Twitter, Facebook. So your users can very easily get there. And let's watch this. So there we go. There's our JJ McCoy plus 2 is a new user. This is the connection string. That's how you know which Entatio they're coming from. So you could have 20 or 30 different Entatios with different types of content or segments or whatever. And that's that. So let's go back here. Go back to this spot. I'm going to log in. I actually have to check my email and log in from my email. All right, that is a brand new, completely new account in Entatio for a regular end user. And you can tell because I don't have any subscriptions, they can't see any content. And you don't have to have this configured this way. You can make it available to them. I have this configured. Okay, so I have one piece of media that I've uploaded here, and this is called an IVA or interactive visual aid. This is one of the things that we work on and help creative agencies to develop. I'm going to subscribe to this content. It'll make it easier when I log in again. I'll see it. And if we go over here, so there's Jason, the user, and I want to show you all of this. Look at all this stuff that's been generated. So what is all of this? If you go in right here and you look, this is the interactive visual aid. The interactive visual aid, it looks like a single presentation as you select through it. It's interactive, but it's actually comprised of 6 different pages that you can look at any one time. Each one of those kind of pages or slides, it created a tracking record for it, for the IVA here. And as I go and I start looking at them, you're going to see that these are going to be selected as completed, and it'll auto generate new records for the same piece of media. All of these things that were created, this is another presentation that I can't see because I haven't been given access to it. But when I see it, I can go and start to look through it, and you'll see these would be checked. So let's look at the interactive visual aid first. So first one we'll see is home. So as I go in here and I select the interactive visual aid, it opens up. I'm on the home 1-1 section. And there you go. First one was selected and added. The next one, this is another record, was created immediately with that, so that if I go back and if I leave there and go back, it'll automatically update it. But let's go and we're going to look at 6 and then 4 and then 2, 1. So try to keep them in the evens. So 6 is right here. This is the last slide. slide 6, and I can do all my neat stuff with it. And then if I want to get to 4 from here, so let's see, 6, 5, 4. This is slide 4. And if I want to get to 2, this is slide 2, 1, because I can go to 2, 2 or 2, 3 by going through here. So let's go and look at our interactive tracking record. So we had 2, 4, and 6. And I have to refresh it before you'll see these. And notice how those are all gone. If I go to the bottom, 6, 4, 2-1, and then it created additional tracking records. Now this is a setting. You can turn that off so that it only ever updates it once and then that's it. Or you can automatically create them. One of the concerns that people tend to express is that, well, I've got a ton of records. Let's say I have 1,000 users and I have 10 to 20 or 100 pieces of content. How do I keep from generating hundreds and hundreds of thousands of records? Well, first off, we can anytime something's inactivated or removed from the Entatio, it automatically flags it here, and you can just have those removed. And then we also build things that help our clients to archive this. So, for everyone that's been checked, we just take those and automatically archive those out to, say, AWS, to like a data warehouse. And then from there, you can tie into, say, Tableau or Cognos or something and start to build your analytics on what has been checked. That's if you want to do that. There's a lot of ways to manage those files. It's not really a big issue. But what you're getting here is, if you notice, for this user, I have all of these potential places that they could go, and I'm starting to see where they're interested in, where their interests lie. And then when you tag the descriptions and keywords and things like that to these tracking records, now we can start to build some pretty interesting analytics on, who is this customer, what is their interest. We can build workflows and triggers so that, when this is triggered, we're going to send a message out to a sales professional. We're going to start building, maybe if they look at every single slide, then we're going to send a notification to contact this person, or a task to contact them. That's the kind of stuff you can do, and it's really, really simple, as you can see. So it's as simple as we have our content here. I'm going to log out, and we're going to go look at a different user with a little more access. So this is my other user. And you can see I have this presentation. So this is the PowerPoint presentation. Let's get that user. So this is this user here. And you can see all of their tracking records that are in here. And I've lots of things and lots of stuff that I've already looked at. But notice all those PowerPoint ones. A user could go in here. They might look at, say, 14. And now you're going to see over here, this 14 should shift down. Oh, there it is right there. That updates that tracking record, and then I had a new one created. That's why that one's the last one there. So all this media becomes available to people. They start to look at it. Now I haven't filled in the descriptions or the names. That tends to help. They do searches. The searches are going to do lookups, and you start to get a feel for where are they going and what are they looking at. And you can do that with each individual. So each one of these is an individual PowerPoint slide converted when it was uploaded into Entatio. But you can also do it with the interactive visual aids. You can do it with video. You can do it with images. Anything that I upload into here is going to become a tracking record. And actually, that's what I want to demonstrate, the last part too. So I'm going to do a test where just something as simple as this is going to be an infographic. So just a single infographic. I would upload that. We can you can look at the MailChimp video to see how you can also do this with MailChimp at both at the same time, really, Salesforce and MailChimp. And I'm going to find a good infographic that I like. Get this out of the way. So here's something I like. So this is a PDF infographic. I can split the PDF itself into multiple slides. I'm really not too worried about that. I'm just going to keep it as a single PDF. It'll take a little more longer to load, but that's good enough. So just a single infographic I'm going to upload to my Entatio. comes a library that you can add onto your main site, or you can use it. A lot of times used in events and conferences by presenters and speakers. But let's say this is just as an add-on to your site. So I uploaded that test in infographic. It's right there. You can look at this another way. There it is. I'm going to add this into this presentation. So I just added my infographic into the presentation. We'll go into the presentation. Say I want to make this it the second thing that you look at. So in this presentation, oh, did it drop? Yeah, it did. It's one of the problems of dragging and dropping. There we go. Okay, now it's in the right place. And you can see its test infographic is the second part of the presentation. When I go into here, there's my test infographic tracking records for that user. And you might say, well, why are there two of them? So if it's here and it's in media, there's actually two locations that someone could access it from. So it's in the presentation, but it's also in the media tab here. If they can access it from those two different places, I want to know where they're going to access this content from, because I'm going to use that in my analytics. So it gets down to even to if I have 20 or 30 presentations and they're going into the presentation, they're kind of seeing it. Let's say they went test PPT1 to this, to this, to this. That's different than if they went into media and were looking for it there. If they did a search and they just went directly to that infographic. This is the kind of information that you really get as you start to look at how this is all structured. It's structured very well. So I'm going to go and I'm going to just look at it here. So here's the infographic that I was talking about. This is something we built for, it does take a little longer to upload. It's a big file. Something we built that gives a, it's the life sciences cloud technology market kind of in a diagram of how it gets used. So I'm going to X out of that. So now I've looked at it and I want to see how my tracking looks. So here's what we saw before. And that's the only ones that we've got. And so that's the one that was looked at, and a new one was created. That's it. That's how it works. So there's my first one, but let's say I go into my presentation and I look at my infographic here. It comes a little faster because it's cached now. And now when I go in here, I have two. I have one. I should have two down at the bottom because it'll check another one of those and it'll create the other one. So there's my new one, and then it created another one to map it out. That's the newly created one. And there you go. And the reason you're seeing this group this way is because I have completed checked, but it would be not that way if I didn't. Okay, and that is how we track content engagement back to Salesforce in real time through Entatio.